The dude is back into the kitchen. In today's episode, I just harvested some zucchini. Guess what? I'm making zoodles. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. Dude in the Kitchen series, and in a previous series a couple weeks ago, I harvested a bunch of tomatoes from my garden and I made spaghetti sauce for the first time ever. Well, you need spaghetti to go with the sauce. So one thing I'm doing with my zucchinis, these are Black Beauty zucchinis that I planted. I'm going to render them down into zoodles. Zucchini noodles is what they're called. How am I going to do that? Well, I have help. My help is this KitchenAid appliance, and with this KitchenAid appliance comes an attachment I purchased, the KitchenAid spiralizing with peel core and stuff, extra stuff. So it does a variety of different things because it has all these attachments in it. Well, I'm going to make zoodles, noodles. There's a noodle one in here. I've got it already attached right here. Here's the other attachments that you can select from that comes in this. I'm going to go ahead and leave links down below for you guys to be able to purchase a KitchenAid. Yeah, this is wonderful. I use it for a lot of things. And then I purchased this attachment, so there's a link for this one down there too. So I preset things up. I have a pot of boiling water because you're going to need to blanch your zoodles. And then there's a pot of cold water next to it over here to stop the cooking process. And then I have another bowl I'm going to dump them in. And then they're going to sit there while I continue making zoodles from the rest of the produce that I have. Once we get it all produced, then I'm going to package it. I'm going to vacuum seal it with my vacuum sealer and bags here. Now, there is no safe way of preserving squash. There's two ways that I know of that you can preserve squash. The one way is freezing it, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to blanch it, put it in zero air bags. We're going to suck all the air out of it, so it's going to be an anaerobic environment in there. Anaerobic means no air. Pathogens that are harmful to the human body cannot thrive in an airless environment. And they can't thrive in an environment that is in freezing temperatures. The ones that affect humans thrive at human body temperatures. That's where they come in. Now, ones that are halophils, which are really live in hot springs, they can't harm us because they die when they get out of that hot spring. And then cold, there are ones that live in ice, but they're not harmful to the human body. So that's what I learned in biology and anatomy and physiology when I was in college studying nursing. So with this apparatus, I'm going to start making noodles. Let me take you through the process. Right here, I have a sieve that I'm going to capture the zoodles in. And then I'm also going to cut them into suitable lengths because I've made zoodles that were just never-ending zoodles. They keep coming out of the pot. Well, I don't like those. So we're just going to cut them into shorter lengths, maybe 8 to 9 inch lengths as it comes off, so we can have a manageable noodle coming off the plate filled with sauce. Okay, first I'm going to trim off this one. I did cut the end of this one off and made it for my breakfast this morning. And I'm saving all my vegetable scraps in the refrigerator from my canning and food preservation. This is going to go into rendering bone broth. I got bones coming later this week. In fact, today's the day my cow gets processed. It had to hang so many days in the freezer, and now they already called me for my preference on the cuts. So we're gonna wait for that. That'll be another show, but right now let's get this thing attached and I'll show you how these zoodles are made. Okay, I'm gonna pop that out, poke this into the spike. Come on, poke. Okay, there we go. Pop this back in, and then we're gonna center it and turn it on. Okay, that's it on that. We're gonna blanch this real quick. Blanching in boiling water, 3 minutes. While that's blanching, I'm taking this end that didn't render down and we're gonna throw it right here in the bucket. Nothing goes to waste. Three minutes is done. We're gonna take it and move it right over to the cold water. Once I stopped the cooking process, was dipping it in cool water, we're just going to drain as much liquid as we can out of it and put it in there. And we do this again. This is fun. Let's see, just cut the stem off and cut it in half. Take that out. You got to cut your vegetables to length of this, otherwise you're just going to struggle. Okay, try to center that thing. All right, and turn it on. Nope. I'm going to have to cut this like this. And that's okay, because this vegetable piece goes in that bucket over here. And we got zoodles. That's funny, you have to use scissors for making noodles. At least I'm making them in manageable lengths now. This is much better. Okay, it's quit feeding. We turn it off. Push this lever to back it off. I'm gonna pull this off and put it in my bucket and blanch this other one for 3 minutes. Yes. And while that's blanching, I got another one I'm going to go ahead and render. That's tough. Okay, it's in the cold water to stop the cooking. And continue with this. drain this. And then dump these in here. And cook this for 3 minutes. And again. My production line is too efficient, huh? Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, this looks like it's going to be huge. I don't know. I try to pick them before they get this big. This one snuck up on me. This is the last piece. Isn't that cool? Make your own zoodles. Healthy noodles. All right. Throw that in the vegetable thing. Stop the cooking. And do the last batch. Ooh, that was a big one. That took a lot. While that's blanching, I'm going to get some fresh cold water. I'm going to put this in a colander. I should have done that first. Blanching helps foods like this freeze properly. It helps the freezing process. Now, coincidentally, I just used my last frozen bag of Zoodles from last year the other day after I made that spaghetti sauce. Yes, it turned out really good, and this is fresh Zoodles for this year. I'll get a couple of bags. I want to make the portions big enough just for my wife and I. That's all we need to do. You can make the portions as large or small as you want. That's up to you. So this should be about 3 minutes. Turn the heat off because we're done. Stick that in the cold water to stop the cooking process. I'm going to put this in the sink. And I'm going to dump those in there and let everything sit there and drain for a minute. And these go in the sink. And we got to take this off. Let's see, take that off. And take this off, twist that, and pull that out. and then you undo the knob here, and that pulls right on out. So all this gets washed up in the sink. Wash my plate, my knife, and my scissors. I gotta dry my scissors off because I'm gonna use them to cut the bags when I portion them out into the vacuum sealer. Okay, I've got some more vegetables right here. This way we don't waste anything. This will all be boiled down with stock, bone stock in the stock pot. And then I wipe the machine down. No, we don't want you on. Unplug you. And get you ready to put away. And that's it on zoodle making. We just go to wrapping. Now, wanted to stress that so far they haven't found any safe way of canning squash. Now, you can mix squash with high acid foods like tomatoes and other things and can it that way, but not just squash by itself. I've seen recipes where you can squash, you're able to can squash that way. There is a company that sells cans of just squash in water. I don't know how they get away with it, but they're available for retail sale, canned squash. But as far as a home canner goes, they don't recommend we do it. So I just want to practice safe canning because I'm not an expert. Okay, here's a dad joke coming on. An expert is a compound Greek word. Ex, which is the definition of ex, meaning formerly or unknown. And a spurt, the second half of the word, well, it's water under pressure. Yes. Or a drip under pressure. So therefore, an expert is an unknown drip under pressure. That's the definition. Take it or leave it. We're done, so we're going to drain the fluid off of this. This is full of fluid. And then we're going to start packaging it for the freezer. Okay, that's ready and that's still draining. So we're going to cut a bag about so big. And then I want to put a seal in that bag. And then inspect my seal, make sure it's sealed all the way across. Now I can start depositing the product inside the bag. So I'm going to put as much as I want for 2 portions without seconds because I don't need to gain any more weight. That's about 2 portions. Look how long that noodle is. That's cool. Anyway, I'll leave a link for this, the bags and the vacuum sealer also. So and look at that. We've got a bag of fresh, from the garden harvested zucchini and rendered into zoodles. You just pop them in the freezer and then take them out when you want to. So that's basically, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this off camera. So that's basically how it goes for taking zucchini. fresh garden zucchini. It's best to use the freshest picked zucchini because as they soften, it becomes miserable with trying to render it with that zoodle maker. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm, or our frugal homestead tucked high in the Cascade Ranges of the Pacific Northwest. Please stay tuned to more videos. You could do that by subscribing, clicking that bell icon that alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Yeah, dude in the kitchen making homemade zoodles. Yeah, stay tuned for an episode on the dude coming back into the kitchen and making spaghetti with the spaghetti sauce. And maybe with bits of that beef heart that I rendered in a previous video too. Yeah. Be safe, always be kind. I'll see you guys in my next adventure. Bye-bye now.